Hi everyone, you've got Dennis Youssef and Darren Hunter from IGT, and we are here for yet another session with Darren for the PDM podcast show. Darren, very exciting to have you here again. I think Michael was going to start to feel like you're jumping in on his reign here, like what's going on? I know that him and I fly and travel around together quite a bit, but I mean, you've been traveling so much lately. Are you trying to jump in? I'm like, what's happening here?
Well, talk about travel. Where are you at the moment, Dennis? You're in exactly the same place I was 2 weeks ago, like 17 or something up there in Manila.
I am. I've had a bit of an extended stay. So I thought, you know what, we can work from anywhere in the world, right? So I've been doing all my meetings. I was on an island of Bohol last week doing free diving and doing all my meetings early because, Australia time is ahead. So it just meant I had to get up at 5 a.m. to start work, and then I was in the ocean by 12 p.m., which was great.
Well done. We can do we can do our work, and there's so much for a lot of other people too. We can do our work anywhere in the world, long as we have stable internet. So
yeah. Totally. I mean, Darren, you put a post in the IGT Inner Circle the other day, and if anyone's not part of the IGT Inner Circle, do a search on Facebook, IGT Inner Circle. Make sure you answer those questions, and so you could be let in. But Darren, you asked what's one of your best time management tips or something, and I said get a laptop and work from anywhere. Like people can work from in an office, they can work from your home, you can work from a cafe, it doesn't matter where you are, you can answer emails, make calls and do particular work. So I'm not saying every single task, but you can.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's it.
Mm.
All right, well, Dennis, I think before we get started, I think it's a good idea. If you haven't got Dennis's book, The PM Lead Secrets, it's over 40 ways to grow. Make sure you get it. Now, with this book and, of course, my book, we've already paid for the printing. You just got to pay for the shipping. To get Dennis's book, PM Lead Secrets, on how to get leads without having to rely on the sales team, just go to growmyrentroll.com for my book, The PM Fee Script Secrets, and that's over 50 ways to respond to just about any fee objection that comes your way. Plus, also in the back of the book is a library of 34 fees and fee packages that we've seen charged over Australia, New Zealand, and the United States, and what agents are getting for them as well. Just go to stopdiscountingfees.com. That'll take you to the book. Again, we've paid for the printing. You've just got to pay for shipping. So a pretty good offer. Now, Dennis, I wanted to get in, and today's session, we've called it 3 strategies or 3 keys or 3 ways to sweeten the deal, because let's face it, there are people out there that believe because we work in real estate, therefore our fees are negotiable, and therefore they still want a deal. Was that your experience, Dennis, when you were BDM?
Darren, I think most of the time that when somebody didn't see your value or you hadn't sold your services properly, then that they would ask for a discount. You're always going to get those people that always ask for something as well. But I found that the cold leads, right, were the ones that generally asked for a discount. Or sometimes if it was a sales agent that referred the business to me, they had some form of an expectation that they deserve a discount because they purchased the property through you. But so it's a slight twinge of education to explain to them it's 2 different departments, etc., and we can dig in a little bit deeper. To be fair, I probably only had 1 in 10 that would ask me for a discount, but that's because of the level of the leads that I was generating. At first, it was a more common thing. When I was a startup BDM, it was very common. My very first presentation, when they asked me for a discount, I didn't know what to say because I didn't think, hang on a minute, these are our fees. This is what we're worth. That was straight up. And I remember I actually rang my boss and said, they asked for a discount. What do I say?
Well, moving forward, Dennis, I think I'm probably going to put strategy number 3, number 1. All righty.
Okay.
And a really strong pull. You know your worth. And this is for people that have really strong expert strategies, are really good with their educational videos, are really good online, perhaps good at email marketing, whatever. And you got people come to you because they just want you. You know they don't care about your competitors. And in that case, they might still just try to get a discount out of you because, again, you work in real estate, your fees are negotiable, you're a real estate agent, let's negotiate. And we're going to talk more about that coming up. People that feel this have this need to want to negotiate. I think in that case, if you know that the ball's in your court, the full trust is there, and this may even come through a referral lead or something as well. I think what's really good is that you can really stand your ground and not give any concession, because the deal's sweet enough because you are the sweetener, right? Because what are they going to do without you if they don't sign up with you? All righty. So in that case there, if they do ask, you know, along the lines of, oh, look, but the other agent is cheaper, or if you can match your fee with the other agent down the road, and we'll talk about shortly, that's a green light. You've just been green light. And in that case there, you need to have a couple of good responses that just make sense. You're confident. Dennis, what did you do, you know, when you had that?
Well, first thing that I did is I'd remind them, so why did you actually call us? So especially if it was a referral, like, oh, so George told you to give us a call because, you know, and you remind them of that happy emotion of why they want to call you. You know, or I'd say, you know, I'd ask them, you know, my favorite question of what concerns, you know, great that you're asking for a discount. You know, if you don't mind me asking, George told you to call us because of this. And his concern was before renting his property was this, and this is how we overcame it. And then I'd highlight the point of difference our business would have, whether it was, you know, the reason why we got a great quality tenant was because of the video marketing. And so I'd talk about a point of difference, and then I'd back it up with my stat of you know, 99% of our tenants are paying their rent on time. So I'd be backing it up and really driving in and overcoming their concern of what it is with their rental. Most of the time, Darren, people just ask for a discount sometimes because you go to Bali, everyone discounts. You go to Harvey Norman's, you ask for a discount. You go to electrical stores, if you can find it cheaper somewhere else. It's all about a discount society.
If you don't ask, you don't get. So people might come to you just with that. Now, of course, you've got to keep in mind, they're going to choose you. They've just chosen you anyway. They're just trying you out. All right. See if they can get a sweeter deal, though the deal is already sweet enough. They've already made a decision on you. With that in mind, I guess if you do get, hey, look, but the other agent is cheaper, or can you do a better discount, or if you can match your fee with the other agent down the road, my favorite response, and this is in my book, just go to stopdiscountingfees.com, which is a PM fee script secrets. My favorite script, you know, in that, which just is so effective, is, look, Mr. Smith, we know what other agents are charging, and they also know what our charges are too. And despite them knowing what our fees are, knowing that they cannot compete with us on our level of service, they've simply wound their fees down to what they believe their services are worth. Otherwise, if they felt that they were as good as us, they would be charging the same. And it's such an important truth, isn't it? Because people always grade their fees in line with what they believe their services are worth, comparing themselves to other agents in the market, whether they're better or worse than them. In their mind, they always position themselves, and their fees simply reflect where they believe they are positioned in the market. Otherwise, they would be charging more. Very rarely, Dennis, I don't think there's ever an agent out there that thinks they offer a brilliant service but deliberately charge less. I don't think this, people always charge what they believe they are worth.
The only time you would possibly see that, Darren, is if it's a startup business, they're really starting, and it might be an opening special of the business. But, you know, to add to your script there, Darren, another way of doing it, and, you know, it's something that I used to do as well, is, you know, you've got to remember they're asking you for a discount. They see the value in you. They've already decided that they like you, right? So Mr. and Mrs. Smith, clearly you can see great value in us. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. And I understand that you've had a couple of other agents you've looked at, but you're actually having a discussion with me, asking me to reduce the fees. So if you were to line up the agencies that you've chosen, put us up on a wall, take all the fees out of the equation, which agency would you be going with? If they don't say you, right, you clearly have not sold your services to them. You have not shown them the value that you have. You're not showing them how it's cheaper to use you versus the fee that you're charging. You haven't educated them from the beginning. You may have just turned up to the appointment, you've done your spiel, meeting, you've just, yep, no problem, this is the rent, this is what we can do, but you haven't educated them on this is why we advertise this way, using premium photography, premium listing on realestate.com.au, videography to attract better quality tenants, giving you stats to prove you're renting properties faster so there's more money in their pocket, etc. And then you're backing it up with stats on how much rent is being collected, how many properties that are actually tenanted, etc., versus your rivals. You're not showing them value of your business, earning them more money than going with the cheaper agent. Right? So you actually don't deserve the business.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point there. And I like that. If we were all stacked up against the wall, who would you choose? So I think that's good. The other thing, again, moving on with the expert strategy, which means they've come to you because of you, all right? They're not interested in your competitors. You've got a very strong magnetism there to you, and they ask the discount question. I like Ashley Goodchild's response as well, and she spoke at the IGT 2022 conference in October, really high-rated speaker. And because she has such an influence on social media where she draws a lot of in-state investors to her, and they pop the question for a discount because they just want to try. Her response is, look, our fees represent great value. Our fees are fixed. That's it. Poker face.
Yep.
He who makes the next move first loses. And she commonly gets, oh, well, no, that's okay. I'm happy to sign up. And people were just trying. And she came back with a very firm but polite no. And that was the end of it. Over the speed hump, straight to the paperwork, because they wanted her in the first place. All righty. So that's, you really got to stand your ground. If you know your position, you know your worth, stand your ground, just give a good response. At the end of the day, if you're confident and you're enthusiastic, they want you. All right. That is a drawing unto itself. And all the people that I work with to get better fees, we simply work on their confidence. All righty. Their confidence that if they believe they are worth it, you will get it. If people can see it in your eyes, if they can see it in your conviction, they can see it in your body language, see it in your tone, that you believe you are worth your fees, then you will get it. All right, let's move on. Let's move on, because we know, again, we work in real estate, Dennis, therefore our fees are negotiable and people are just going to try. So, all right, moving on. Okay.
Hold on. I want to add to that point, Darren, because, it's the conviction that you have in your voice, right? And that's what Ashley's done. When you've got that conviction and people can tell. They can tell. You can have all the scripts in the world, but if you don't believe in that script, it means zero.
Correct.
It literally means nothing. You've really got to have that conviction. And those people, you go to a Mercedes-Benz dealership, they believe in their product. They know that they are better than the Hyundai, the whatever other low-level vehicles there are. They know they're better, right? They know it's a safer vehicle. They know it, right? And you're not going to get a discount. Recently I was looking to buy a car, and some of the dealerships that they've got on there, non-negotiable. We will not negotiate on our fees. So that's just how it is.
Yep. Yeah. And Dennis, how many times have you come across a salesperson or a BDM or somewhere out there? Like we just had the experience with an email marketing platform. We just popped a question, can we get a discount? Bang, we got 10%.
Yeah.
Or there's other times where you've been out there and you haven't even asked the discount question and are already giving you discounts.
Yep, totally.
And you always sign up what you believe you are worth. Alrighty. And if you don't believe you're worth, people are going to pick that up, and then they're simply going to ask you that question. So it's very much about psychology. We're going to be covering a lot of this in our upcoming Win Your Worth Academy, which we're going to be doing as part of the IGT membership. It's going to be starting in early 2023. Go to igtmemberships.com to sign up there. And it's a membership for you and your team. Dennis, we're also doing the Top Growth Academy as well, which is going to be a lot fun, some really good stuff there. It is going to be academy coaching or group coaching that you and your team can be a part of. We're also going to do Master Your Time Academy as well, and Outsourcing Success Academy too. So there's going to be a lot of really good material that you can get your teeth into. It's a bit like the memberships, like gives you the gym membership. You can go there, do your own stuff. We've got over 300 hours of online video teaching that you can use, but then you've also got the academy, which is like the group classes that you can be a part of. So watch out for that. Okay, but moving on, I guess I understand everyone. If someone asks, but the other agent is cheaper, or if you can match your fee with the other agent down the road, please understand, if they're talking to you, it's very likely they've made a decision on you. Now it's just they want to get a sweeter deal. And so popping one of those two questions is likely for you a sign that you've been green lighted. Means they've given you the green light. They've already made their decision. They want you. They're just trying you out again because your fees are negotiable. You work in real estate. And it's a bit like a game of tennis. So usually they're just going to try and hit the ball once at you. And if you can give a really good, confident response that sounds reasonable, they're just going to give up. Okay, you win. You're over that little speed hump. Let's do the management agreement. All righty. Or I liken it to people that just want to dance because they don't get to dance too often. And it's like in our world, we go down to McDonald's, we're not going to ask for a discount there. We go down to Target, we're not going to ask for a discount there. We go to the supermarket, we don't ask for a discount there because prices are fixed. But if we want to go buy a big ticket item through Facebook Marketplace, well, you're always going to be asking for a better price. Or in this case, Dennis, looking for a secondhand car, it's normal to ask for a better price. In real estate sales, buying a property, well, negotiation's part of the deal. So therefore, because we work in real estate, people expect that. They don't get it too often. They just want to have some fun. They just want to dance. So they're ready to dance. You need to dance and understand having a really, really good, easy response. It sounds reasonable. You can overcome most discount requests. Again, just get my book, PM Fee Script Secrets. Go to stopdiscountingfees.com. Just pay for the shipping. And I've got every response that I've ever heard or know works in that book. Add it to your library. Dennis, so you're moving on. So understanding that it is just a little speed hump, everybody. They're just trying you out. They just want to sweeten the deal on what is already sweet in their mind. So Dennis, let's move on to now concessions. If we do feel that we do have to give a concession, I think there is room for that. And we're going to give you some strategies around that, everybody.
Yep.
So firstly, I think we need to protect our management fees. So if we just get this line, if you feel a deal has to be given, use these words. I can't give a discount on my management fee, but if you're willing to sign up today or this week, then I can do this. All righty. So please, this is your pre-frame. If you feel something has to be given, I can't give you a discount on my management fee. But if you're willing to sign up today, you've got to put them on the spot. They've got to be willing to buy in right now. What's the use of giving a discount if they're not willing to sign up now? All right, so put that pressure on them. This is a two-way deal. It's a two-way street. This is what I'm willing to do. So Dennis, this is now where we go on to what we call phantom fees or sacrificial fees. So these are fees that you've simply added on that if you get them, it's a bonus. But these are the cards that you can play instead of giving a discount on the management fee. So Dennis, you did this way back when. What did you do?
Well, it was quite easy because when I first started, doing video. No one was doing video, and you know, I there was no such thing as a person doing, like a professional photographer or a videographer doing video on properties at the time. So I couldn't get a fee. So I added a fee to the agency agreement. Off memory, it was $110 because it was including GST in Australia. $110 for a video tour of your property. And it was simply me, you know, using my iPhone at the time and doing a walkthrough video tour, which I was doing as part of the sales pitch anyway, but I would give that away on the first let of the property. So, you know, it was giving them something of high value, but I was only giving the discount on the first let of the property, Darren, not for the entire leasing process of it as well. That was one thing that I did. And, you know, if they had a couple of properties, which was quite rare where I was, I would let them know that I would only charge them one management fee, you know, so it was adding something. But another thing that I can add to that, Darren, is letting them know that we've only got 2 available properties extra that we can take on this month. I've got 3 appointments today. So if you want to be one of those 3, this is what I could do. So you're actually putting a timeline on it as well. You know,
I think that's really good. I honestly, I've never heard of that before. And that's a new one for me. But yeah, letting people know, look, we've only got room for 3 more properties this month. Otherwise, we start to compromise our services.
Yeah,
we can't take on too much. If you want to be one of these, I suggest, you know, you get on or whatever.
Yeah, and we only take on a certain type of property. So that's why I'm here to see if your property qualifies. So, you know, because sometimes they're asking for discounts as you're walking around, what are your fees, whatever, right? For me, I used to sit them down and say, look, these are really good questions that you're asking. Clearly, you really want to know the nuts and bolts of what it's going to cost to manage the property. The reason why I'm walking around is because that fee is indicative of how much return I'm going to get for you and what advice I can give in adding certain works to your property, giving you to get certain works that you can do to add a higher quality tenant, attracting you a better quality return. So you're giving them a whirlwind of information, you're educating them. I'm not just here to tell you a property and charge you a fee. I'm here to give you expert advice. So you're impressing them with those words. Look, let's sit down, let's go through this authorization form, and I will show you how we manage properties. And then when we get to the fee component, I'm going to sit down and give you some extra care and time. So I'm actually closing them. I'm sitting down and closing when they're asking for the fee, you know, but I would be saying, I need to see if your property is suitable for our agency to manage, because we're really strict on the quality property and the quality tenant that it attracts.
Yeah,
you know, so
that's really good.
Darren, it turns them around. They're all of a sudden showing their house off to you as well.
Yeah.
So you've got to take control. And again, it comes with your confidence, right? So it was a great way of letting them. I never used the words, I've only got 2 properties to take on, right? It's just something that you can add, because that's what we do with our coaching. You know, we only take on a certain number of coaching clients. And why couldn't you put that into your management wording as well? Especially if you're one of those boutique agencies. You know, I don't understand the full component of what the boutique means. But, you know, if you say you're boutique, you'll only take a certain property on, certain income, certain style, whatever. That's where you can say it. It could be we only take on 5 properties a month, right? I've got 10 appointments this month or whatever. So it's putting that timeline and that factor of, we are really, really good. Do you qualify for us?
Yeah, I think that's great. And one of the things as a marketer for IGT and learning from the greats like Dan Kennedy, was probably one of the greatest marketers to ever walk the planet. He always said you can never offer something without scarcity and urgency, which is, you know, we offer it this at this rate, and it's got to be by this date. And so when I'm ever doing offers, you will see it's ending in 2 weeks, it's ending this Friday, it's only at this or whatever, creating scarcity and urgency. And you can do that certainly with what you just said there, Dan. It's been only take 1 more property or 2 more properties on this month, otherwise, and then we shut the door because we can't take on too much. And that's a real valid reason. Or it's, look, if you're willing to do this today and sign up today, I'm willing to do X, but you're placing pressure on the situation. Creating urgency is what you want. Always create urgency. Never say something without placing urgency on it. Otherwise, they will not be urgent and they could try you again. So it's a two-way street. All right, moving on. So adding on a sacrificial fee, something you're happy just to throw away. If you get it as a bonus, you're happy to throw away. That's the card you're willing to play. Dennis, I think you said you use video or whatever, but you can come up with, again, in the back of my book, there's plenty of sacrificial fees in there. There's all sorts that you can play with that you've never heard of before that you can simply put in as an add-on that you're willing to throw away. All right, the next one is where a common mistake I see all the time, Dennis, is people giving permanent discounts. Like they'll give a 1% off the management fee. That's the most common one, and that's the most expensive. Or they do a 50% off the letting fee, and it's forever.
Or a marketing fee. We won't charge you to market the property. Yeah.
But every time they give a discount on the letting fee, every time a tenant moves, they have to secure a new tenant. There's a discount, or it's on the management fee. Or guys, they just want to win. They want to feel good that they can sleep at night, and they'll still feel just as good if you give them a one-off discount. So instead of giving away the farm, they might just be happy munching on a carrot. But you then just give them the whole farm unnecessarily. And sometimes we give away more than what's necessary. And the person you gave it to, they're thinking they didn't have to do that. I would have signed up anyway with X instead of Y. And so we over discount. And so a one-off discount, if they were talking or quibbling on the routine inspection fee, because I tell you what, Mr. Smith, I can't give a discount on my management fee, but if you're willing to sign up today, what I'm willing to do is give you the next routine inspection for free. And that sounds as good as we'll give you a free routine inspection from now on. That it's that little thing that they're likely to go, yeah, I'm happy with that win that I've got. It still tastes as good as a permanent discount, and suddenly we're over that little speed hump.
Darren, and it could be I'll give you a premier listing on our website portals, you know, at a discounted rate or for free for the first let. And it needs to be written as for the first let. That's where you can put it in your special conditions. That's what I did for video marketing for the first let of the property, right? And you always have it ticked. I've seen so many agreements where people just put a line through it, and I'm like, oh, no, you know,
it's unnecessary. And Dennis, I don't know how many times people have given me discounts and I didn't ask, or it didn't need to be that much, and I just smiled thinking, oh my goodness me, I've got a great discount here, but I would have signed up anyway. So
Darren, you know, I was buying a battery pack, you know, so you can charge your iPhones and even your laptops, and I think I showed it to you. It's like 20,000 lumens. It is a powerful battery charger, right? Your iPhone charger. And I picked it up and I was holding it, and it was $99. I'd made the decision I was buying it because that thing charges your phone in 15 minutes, right? And the guy, and I was looking at, and I was simply reading whether he thought I was going to be asking for a discount. He goes, look, you know what? I can do that for $70. And I just went, yep, okay, I'll buy it. Like, hey, I didn't even ask for the discount. They just offered it to me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So sometimes silence doesn't mean they're asking for a discount. They're processing, they're thinking, they're reading, they're working things out. So don't jump the gun to offer a discount just to win the business.
Yeah. And that's all part of, you know, reading people correctly too. So again, everybody understand the magic words. Let's go through it again. I can't give you a discount on my management fee, but if you're willing to sign up today, this is what I can do. And you might just use, you know, a sacrificial fee that you've stacked on, or it could be a one-off discount on the next. We won't charge an annual statement, you know, the next annual statement fee. As you said, Dennis, you've got 2 properties. I'll only charge you on the one, or something like that, that without throwing money away. It's just a one-off, straight up front. It could be, look, I tell you what, I'll give you 50% off the marketing fee on the next let. Or Dennis, you said we'll do premium instead of normal, the premium on, you know, the real estate marketing portal at this price just for the next let. All righty.
Yep.
And people are just going to be happy that you've given a little bit of a win, and away you go. You're over the speed hump and then get to the paperwork. So Dennis, there's another good podcast there. That's another
great.
Some really good, meaty, comprehensive teaching. Guys, if you haven't looked at the other episodes on the BDM Coach podcast show, go back and take a look. We deliberately create each podcast as a comprehensive training session in itself. I think, Dennis, we just can't help ourselves. That's just what we do. That's the minimum.
I know, Darren. There's actually a really good one that suits this particular series. I'm going to say that we've done, because it's based around fees and discounting. I can't remember how many, but we did a podcast on the assumptions of winning the business. Don't assume you've won it, right? Because it really is. It's a really good one to watch. Sometimes you go into a property, you think, you know what, I've nailed it. That's assuming that you've won it, right? So it is a podcast for people to go back through. The BDM Coach podcast show was one that Michael and I did quite a few episodes ago. You should always watch the same podcast 2-3 times. I don't know how many times I've listened to 10X or How to Win a Client Again, or all the podcasts that I listen to. I'm always listening to them over and over again, because you get something different out of them. But it is a really good one to do. And Darren, you're right. It's a great podcast. This one easy. We've given really good examples, and we're simplifying it for people as well.
So everyone, I'm about to start up a new podcast show, which is, this one's very much focused on Dennis' teaching, though I've been featured a lot lately, but we're going to be doing Win Your Worth podcast, where I'm going to be talking a lot about how you can get better fees, all those sorts of things, how to overcome discounting, how to overcome fee objections. We're going to go really, really deep about winning your worth. Just subscribe on iTunes or Spotify. I haven't loaded any episodes yet, but it is ready to be subscribed to. We're going to be releasing it in the new year. But yeah, make sure you go over there. It's just going to be another really good podcast show. So Dennis, I think we're done.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for coming on board on the BDM Coach podcast show once again, Darren. It's been really good.
You think we should let Michael in next time?
I think maybe we let him in and we have the three of us do one, right? We'll see.
All right, everyone.
I don't know if you guys have done a BDM Coach podcast one on your own and given me a break, but that's okay. All good. Everyone, thank you very much, Darren. And thank you, everyone, for being part of the BDM Coach podcast show. Don't forget, if you haven't joined the IDT Inner Circle, to jump in there and join that one. And Darren, thanks for being part of this podcast once again.
Take care, everyone.